show here. Actually, I'm Detective Tabo Tom. But I went to, now this here, what they did, this says line, and I automatically assumed this was the water coming in, even though it's on that side. I thought, but it isn't. This is the line coming in. Once I disconnected this union here, I got pressure out the wazoo coming through here. So, but the washer, there was a black washer. This is smaller where this connector is, and there was a black washer that shouldn't even be there, was stuck in there. So I pulled that out of there. Good thing it didn't head on down the line. So I pulled that out of there. I connected it back up. Now it must go from there to the bathroom first, because here's the sink yet. No pressure. But the bathroom, now all of a sudden, let's get the light on here. Now I got beautiful pressure in here. Look at that. Okay, so there's problem number one solved. Okay, it was a brand new. It was probably the washer that's missing from there. It was stuck inside the pipe, and it got caught on that little. It reduces. Where that union is, it's on top of this pipe here. There's a flat spot, and there is a translucent gasket. It's an O-ring type gasket that you squeeze onto there. Okay, but that black one sitting in there, that was totally not supposed to be there, and it was. So there's one problem solved. So now I have to figure out, start pulling things off of the sink. It could be another piece of obstruction in there. So as of right now, I've got tons of pressure all the way to the bathroom. The downstairs, the powder room. I've got that. That's good. But also the kitchen sink just ain't having it, and it's not. And the cold water too. The cold water should have nothing to do with the Insta-Hot. But well, let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. The cold water comes out much better. Wow, that's the most pressure we ever had out there. Okay, so all right, that's probably now. My next place is on the Insta-Hot, and these valves are all the way open. So that's going to be my next thing to check. I'll have to pull all this out and figure that out. See if there's a piece of something stuck, going in the inlet on the Insta-Hot. So this is just what has to happen, I guess, in these Demeterland homes. When you get them, they give you the home, and it's not quite done. They push you for this turnover thing. They make you wait and wait and wait. And did you accept the house? And I said, yeah, I accept the house, but you need to fix this. Yeah. So then we just went ahead and accepted to get her done. And now it's like, maybe they help us, maybe they won't. They say they're going to, but that's problem number one. I'm glad I found that anyway. But the search continues. News at 11. This is Tabo Tom out. Well, we're doing good on the water. The next thing I took down was just a clog screen, just debris in there. Little pieces of looked like broke off glue that got thin on the pipe, and pieces of, it looked like plastic, little pieces of white plastic. So that got taken off. So now there's a little bit more pressure in there. I don't know if I'll take that screen completely out. I'll do that in a little bit. I'm going to take a break now, but for you new guys, I was just watching a video I'm going to be posting here pretty soon. I always watch them first, and if there's any editing to do or whatever. But I was talking about going to the Robinson's Mall, and one thing that I personally liked when I first come to the Philippines was the smiles. You can see it in the eyes, but with these shame muzzles they have on us, we've lost that. We've lost the one of the main features of the Philippines. And I personally myself believe that it's a lot easier to get angry when you can't see somebody smiling. Now when I was in the store the other day, a lot of people had the mask down. I even said on the video, we saw a lady going into the Toys R Us with her little kids, so maybe we can go. A lot of people had them pulled down, and that's a cool thing. But I would like to. I want to see the smiles again. I hope they can do away with this. I saw a thing on there. It wasn't the president talking. It was just a header underneath. So I don't know if it's for real or not. It was in one of the news medias, and he was saying if somebody's not wearing their mask properly, please just go arrest them. So I don't know. I don't know what information our president here is getting, but I imagine it's scaring him or something. I don't know. But there's so many places that aren't following. I guess the police would be busy arresting people like everywhere. But the funny thing that happened to me when I was in the store, there was an older Filipino gentleman. My wife disappeared. I don't know where she went, so I was kind of hanging out, waiting to get things, and I struck up a conversation with this fella named Ed. Big Filipino guy. Looked like he was pushing 70, and he didn't have his mask on, and didn't even have a shield on him at all. He was just holding it in his hand. And I pulled my mask down to say hi and talk to him a little bit. And he was an OFW. He worked in America. He was an HVAC guy in America. And worked his 30 years out in California, not too far from where I was, And so we were chatting for about a half an hour. And I had my mask just pulled down, and he had his pulled down. But the security guard came up and told me, get your mask and shield on. Never said a word to him. And I just, okay, so I did. I complied. I pulled it up and put my shield down, and he laughed. He says, you know what you got to do? And I said, what's that? And he raised his other hand. I didn't even know that he had like a roll. And he says, whenever I start seeing them coming, he says, I just go and put that up to my face, and they turn around. He says, you got to learn how to work this. And I thought that was the dude was pretty sharp. So I'm going to get myself a roll whenever I go into these places. I don't get it. Most everybody I've talked to so far, they didn't. They're not buying it themselves. And the more people that don't buy it, maybe the sooner it'll go away. I just seen another thing now. It's going to be a 10-day mandatory if you come back to the country of quarantine. And I honestly believe that's to get money, because how many of these, they keep testing people, and they're finding it, and a lot of people don't even know they're sick, And with Fauci, with this thing, it's on one of my videos before. It's one of the pictures I put towards the end. I always put little pictures on the end. And he said there's a new strain going around that there's no test that can even find it, and you don't even know you have it. I mean, come on. When is common sense going to prevail, guys? It just doesn't. But there are some people that are, sheeple that are still in fear of this. They've just bought everything on the news, and the news just pounds you. Right now, my wife wants to get the TV hung, but I could actually go the rest of my life without a TV, guys. I just don't really care for one. Definitely don't like the news. I like to see the weather. I could see that on YouTube. I know when I was at Tropical Tim's, he had it set up his computer thing. We got to get a good thing, and he could put the YouTube thing on and watch it on his TV. I'm not real techie with that, but I'll pick it up. I'll pick that up, and yeah, that way we could get movies and stuff, because I actually can get movies on my phone. I don't have to download them. I do when we go somewhere, and that way we could watch them off, and it can transfer to my TV also. But he had the YouTube thing on, and you could scroll down through there and look for whatever you want and start watching stuff, which was really neat. And there's tutorials on how to do stuff, which I'm always interested in that, because, like I say, I'm not a techie kind of guy, and those help, those things. Good morning. Okay. No, we're okay this time. Thank you. That's our fish delivery man. He comes riding by every morning. The girls bought some before, but they're walking all the way out to the market this morning, and they like to take their nice big hike. And I'm glad Faye's mom's here so that she goes walking, because she won't walk with me. She just won't do it. Now she's talking about she'd like to have a bicycle, and I found the one I want. That's nice. I wish I could find one with a belt. I hate chains. I keep thinking of my Harley bikes. They all have belts on them, And that's why one of my favorite bikes. My Buell Ulysses, I still say that's the finest machine I've ever owned in my entire life. I remember watching the Lawrence of Arabia guy with his Bogue Superior. I believe that's how you pronounce it. You guys from England will probably get on my case. But he said those were the finest machines. And yeah, I actually saw one at a museum and was looking at it. And from that day, the tech to that bike was just so cool. But in my day and age, that Buell Ulysses, it was big, it fit me, so I didn't have any problems with that. The gas tank was the air intake, so you had a straight shot for the air intake. The thing was 100 and some horsepower. It had boatloads of power. Instead of an oil bag for the Harley, it was in the swing arm. The oil was held in the swing arm. The exhaust can was underneath. It was servo operated. It had the finest suspension on it. I actually, when I first got it and I was driving to work, I could drive to work and it was a straight shot. I would pull out of my development, straight shot, and then left into work. And it was only a few miles. But what I would do is I was going up Azusa Road all the way up to the mountain, and then every morning I would practice on my way home from work, or my way to work. I couldn't practice coming home because there was too much traffic, but I would always leave real early, still in the dark, and I could practice on that road, and went through some tires on that bike. I stopped buying the Pirellis though, and started buying Michelin Pilots, and they were holding up a lot better. Took it to the track, and that was sticky enough. I know these guys spend a lot of money on these track tires, but those Michelins, I was riding on the track and staying with them guys. I actually would ride with some guys from work that had like 600s and 650s and stuff. The Suzuki's mostly. That's the big bike out in Cali. And I didn't have to do the shifting they did. I could keep that thing in like second and third, and come into a corner and just downshift for the corner and power out of that corner, just boom, boom, like that. And I never was lost by those guys. That bike was just so fantastic. I wish I had it here, but it was too expensive to bring it. I know a lot of people after say, "Oh no, you can bring them," and blah blah blah. Well, at the time I was trying to do it, I just sold it because I couldn't find anybody that would ship it where I wouldn't have to pay this ridiculous amount, a tax to bring stuff in here. So now I'm hearing you can bring up to $7,500 if you put it in this container and all this. But when I was doing it, they wanted 100% tax, including the shipping. And I found one place that would have shipped it for $400 to the port. But then when I called around here to customs and whatever, it was going to be 100% tax on their book value or for what I paid for it. And it was fairly new, but it was a great bike. But I'm going to get one here. It's coming up. I told my wife I'm not going to push for it. We want to get everything done in the house first. And what I've been doing is the money that I had stoked back for the bike, we've just been using it here because we're waiting on another draw. The way the bank works here, you can only get 10,000 in. The last time I did the 10,000 in, the bank I use, they don't do internet. It's the reservation bank. They don't monkey with any of that stuff, but they will. You can call them and they know your voice. And I called them and I asked them to send a check for 10,000. And the bank was okay with that. And they'll do that. The bank I use. And yeah, I gotta wait for it to clear, so that's another 60 days. Honestly, that's what it takes. But this last time, the dang bank, what did they do? They sent me the interest on top of it, so it went over 10,000, and the bank just said, "Nope, sorry, can't cash it." They just refused. They would not cash it. The bank I used, and nobody would touch it, so what I had to do was send it back, so that took a month. They got it back. Now they're going to send me another one. I said, "You can't send me one that's over that." And it's always a month or so. It's like that, "Oh, brother, where art thou? We're a geological oddity. We're 1 month away from everywhere." When it comes to mail. So I'm waiting on that. But But we've got a lot of stuff done already. We don't, that's what we were planning on using to finish the house. But we've got a lot of it done already, and we still got a little bit of dough, and we're just being real sparing with it. I didn't have to spend a dime on the plumbing so far, which is really cool. But it's just how things are going. I'm going to crawl underneath the sink and see if there's any screens in there that are plugged. I only did the one up high. My back is a little bit sore, and I just don't want it to get real sore. I hate to climb under. That's why I didn't like to be a plumber, climbing under sinks and stuff. And I just didn't like that. That's one place I always never minded hiring a plumber. I used to get buddies from work to do it because it's just not my bag. I don't want to do it. Can I do it? Absolutely. I can 100% do it. It's just that there's no drive for me to do it. I don't want to. It's just such a drag for me. Now, when it comes to electrical work, I relish getting into electrical work. Like now, that one light that's not working yet, I know it's the same thing as the other ones that I found. It's just not been connected up, but the way all the stuff is packed over there, I couldn't get the ladder in. It's a corner window, so I have to open up the ladder. So before I fix that one, I got to pull everything out. And we're waiting until we get more stuff put away. While I was doing this stuff, what I do is if I need to look for something and I find it in the box, I try not to put the box somewhere else. I try to empty everything out of it. Now we got some more. The next thing I really want to get, just to clear this table up, is I want to get a divider from the like living area to the dining area with some drawers in it, so I can put the silverware and plates on there. The only problem with the dividers I found, we found ones that would be ideal and perfect. The only problem with it is the back of them. It's made to put up against the wall. It's just Luan on the back, and it looks like shit. I told my wife maybe we could thumbtack an oilcloth on the back of them or something. But the ideal one for me would have glass doors on both sides, so that it looks nice on both sides, and you can see the dishes sitting in there. We got some nice glasses I'd like to put in there. I'll hang them. Now a lot of this stuff is a little bit flimsy, but I bought flimsy stuff in the U.S. too, and what I did was I just made some angles, basically what you call a gusset, and put them in the middle and ran them in with some screws, and made it look pretty, made it match, and that solided them up so they wouldn't shake and wobble. Because right now with the kids, I don't want to buy super high quality furniture. They're still little. They spill, just like I did when I was a kid. It happens, and that's why I don't have glasses right now. I'd like to drink out of a glass, but I don't have them right now. So it's coming along, guys. The water problem, it's slowly but surely. I think I'm going to get it taken care of, and it's just what we're doing. But it's right now I'm in slow speed. I don't feel like rushing anything right now. My back is actually not real bad, but I don't want it to get bad again. So I'm kind of gingerly moving about, and climbing under there is not my bag. But I wanted to get that to you new guys that watch, about how our smiles in the Philippines were stolen. And I think what it's going to do here is it's going to make people not as happy with each other as they could be. I personally don't like that, what it's called, and there's two sides of the coin on the mask versus the NOS mask. Some say it's going to save you, and look at doctors, they wear them. Yeah, so you don't get the stuff out, but I think there'd be a better way to handle that. I always think they keep talking about social distancing. Well, okay, that must not work because you need a mask, and the mask must not work because the social distancing don't work. You got to have them both. I guess it's a double layer of protection, they call it. But when does this end? How long does the flu season last? I've never heard of this, and it's not. I'm not buying it. There's too many doctors from around the world that are coming out against this now, and you can look them up. Don't take my word. Start looking it up, but don't go to the CDC and the WHO and all this stuff, because I think they're complicit on this, and they're giving people some poor information. Look around to these other doctors. There's doctors from colleges and universities and stuff all over the place that are coming out and saying, hey, this is just not it's going too far. And I put some stuff on the Facebook about it. You can look on there and see some of the stuff I put out, some of the information I'm seeing. I'm going to talk to my brother again. He gets a lot of information too. He gave me a site that told me about what it was called, and I tried to put it in. It said it wasn't available in my country. This one. So I don't know what's up with that. But he'll tell me. I'm going to start, being able to call him on a regular basis again. That's my oldest brother, and I've always been pretty close with him. Love him to death. Miss them guys. I wish he'd be able to come out for a visit. But it's probably going to be after this thing is all done. I'd like to take the whole family to visit. Lost my oldest sister already. My mother's gone. She never got to see her little namesake. So I want to get out there. I want to get out there and let them see their. Actually, they got grandkids older and great grandkids now. Some of them. So it's just kind of funny. I'm going to be hopefully coming along there, and they're going to be seeing their little nieces and nephews, and they're just little now. And our little Moo, if we can get out there, we're going down on the 4th to get him looked over real good. And if there's anything wrong, we want to get out there anyway. Get Faye a visa. Like I said before, somebody said there's an emergency medical visa you can apply for, and it goes a lot quicker than some of the other visas they have here. And we're not going to stay. I mean, I think they don't want Filipinos to come because they think they're just kind of like going to jump ship and just stay. And that's not what we're going to do. This is where we live. This is where I'm going to live. They're put my bones here. It's where I want to raise my kids. I know I get on here and I talk a lot about this place, but I still think, as of now, it's a better place to get them raised here. And one of the things that really hit me, I was here for a visit. This was in the early 2000s, 2004 or 5. I forget the exact year, but I have to look at my old passport. It's stamped in there. But I remember I was out of the house, and there was kids, different ages. They were, I'd say, from 10 down to about 5 or 6, even a couple real little ones, even 3 and 4. And they were all playing on the living room floor. They had a game that they were playing and just having fun. And they were being real good playing. And some of them were playing outside. Well, the grandma walked in and said, "Put the stuff away. Go wash your hands." And these kids immediately jumped up like they were tied with a string, and they started putting all their stuff in the box the way it's supposed to go, and it went in the cupboard, and they all got in and started washing their hands, and the oldest girl started getting the table set, and they just went up, and I was amazed at how these kids listen so well. And that's what I want for these children. I want them to listen. I leave my wife sometimes a little bit hard on them, but I don't. I try not to say anything because they mind. Now, Matty, I got to watch him because he's going since he's been here, he's going a little bit too far on a couple things. So, I gotta not let him do that. We can't have that. I want these kids to be good kids in mind, and they're getting a really good start here. I truly believe that. I don't trust the schools in the United States. I think they're just liberal bastions, and they're not really teaching them stuff. They're revisionist history crap and all that. I was a big history buff, and they take things out of encyclopedias now. Now it's all this woke crap that's happening, and you get these guys that are running things that never had a job in their life. I always look at like this. Some of these politicians are in there. They never had a job other than being a politician. I like the idea of somebody's going to be in there and he's going to be a money guy or even an instructor in a school. If you're going to be teaching business, you don't hire some guy who went to college and then that's all he ever done was teach business. What you need to do is you need to pull some of these retired businessmen that were very successful in and let them teach some classes. Don't give it to some guy who's never made a living at it, because what he's teaching, how does he know if it works? He just says because he read it in a book. So I'm not buying that type of learning, to be honest with you. I like to see where I learned from. I knew some kids who went to electrical engineering school, and I got a nephew that, he started telling me all this crap about electricity, and I'm like, oh yeah, how long did you? I didn't know you were an electrician. He said, oh no, I took a couple semesters in college. Oh, so you've never actually worked on it? It's just all book knowledge. Well, we had guys in there. I was working a job one time, and this super rich man was putting like a tennis court in his basement. He wanted a tennis court down there, and it had air conditioning and everything in there, and the basement was real deep. It was about 14 feet deep, and it had a tennis court. And in order to have this tennis court, they had a micro lamb. They had these big micro lambs in there, and these things were like super long ones. They got the bow built right into them to hold the weight of the house. These things are engineered, and guess what? You cannot drill these things. You're allowed to tack into them with short nails if you want to run something around them, or they let you go around them. You're not allowed to drill through these things with your wiring. And this guy had like a 600 amp service coming into the garage. He had his own transformer set up. This guy was super rich. This house was monstrously big. You never seen a house so big. And this new kid come in, and the boss, it was the boss's son, and he said, hey, my boy, he just graduated electrician. Here he is. And I says, okay. And I've been working with my father since blah blah blah. Okay, cool. I need you to go down and down to the basement and get all the home runs over to the panel. Everything that's hanging down, start on the east side, and pull all those through. It's the boss's son. He worked with his father, and this kid looked like he was about 25 years old. Well, get downstairs towards the end of the day, and the guy turned that micro lamb into Swiss cheese. He was taking a big 1.25 inches, and he drilled about 6 or 7 holes right through the micro lamb. Both of them. Well, what happened with that, I got chewed, and I told the boss, I said, hey, this is your kid. You said he was trained? He said he was trained? I told him to go pull the home runs. Should I have come down there and told him not to drill through the micro lamb? He's an electrician. He's got his certification. He's got his card. He's in the union. He's to know that, And the guy couldn't argue with me, but he wound up having to get cranes and stuff to lift the weight of this house up while they pulled them, because it would not inspect. While they had to pull these $80,000 micro lambs out. Just the cost of the micro lamps, and put them back in, put new ones back in. And that held the job up for about 3 weeks because they had to custom make these things. So I'm glad I learned in the field. I was OJT, and that's glad I learned that way. And I see these kids that go to college and they take all these courses and they don't know squat. I personally think if you want to learn, get yourself to a trade school. I started it was called ABC program. Associated Builders and Contractors, started making money right away, and learned. They don't let you do everything, but I was never one to come into a job and start telling people how to run it. I've seen that. I worked in a couple factories for a while. When I could, knew the people and said, hey, look, I'm going to be off for 3 weeks. Can I come in and do something, here, because I don't have any money rolling? Sure. And they knew me. They knew I was a good worker. And I'd see these young guys coming in, and after you'd hear them bragging at lunchtime, and then after a day or two, they're trying to tell the boss how to run things, and then they're down the road kicking stones. It just amazes me. Me, when I was young and in the trades, I kept my mouth shut, other than if I was asking a valid question, not a stupid one. There is no stupid question though, but I loved my trade. I loved it like you wouldn't believe. Being an electrician was, even when I was a little kid, I had a brother-in-law that was he was a union electrician, and I went out and helped him on his house, and he piped his house. So that was really cool. But because he was a industrial electrician, so he piped his house. And he was also a really good carpenter. He was jack of all trades. They say master of none, but the work that I've seen him do was as good as anybody I've ever seen. And I always liked to hang with him because he could do anything. He was really a tradesman. And I went out to a couple of his jobs that he was running, and he was doing steel mills and stuff. I mean, he was big time. He was big time, and he was 2%er. He gets 2% of these jobs, and he'd be doing a $10 million job. So he had the nicest bass boat you ever seen. He had the fancy 4-wheel drives. I mean, the beautiful house, and he was doing it when he wasn't working. He was on his boat fishing and all that kind of stuff. And I remember when I was young, I was saying, I want to be like that. Now me, I'm not that big of a spender when it comes to that. I had some nice boats too, but never went out and bought a big fancy new one or anything. One of the boats I got was it was a 1959 Spanimer with a 100 horsepower Johnson on it motor. And I got the thing with the trailer and everything for $300. Had to fix it. Sat in the barn. It was full of chicken poop. And I spent a whole summer. Hi, handsome.
It's so loud.
Okay. But spent a whole summer working on it with the kids, and got that thing looking absolutely beautiful. And the motor on it worked. It was a fantastic motor. It was a 1959, and the way you did it, your 5 gallons, you dumped 1 quart of 30 weight oil in it, non-detergent. That just amazed me, and it ran on that, and I could pull water skiers with it. It was just a fantastic little great boat. I put a dolphin on the back of it, and I got it for $300, and I wound up putting probably about $400 into it, and got her going really good. Had that for years. And then I wound up selling that because we were on the river, and I got myself a 12-foot aluminum so the kids and I could go out and fish and stuff on the shallow rivers. And I had a 3-horsepower Evinrude, and we'd buzz out on the lakes, on these little shallow lakes, and go fishing. And having a big monstrous boat was just something I didn't want to drag around, and having to put it somewhere and store it in the winter and all. I liked the little one I could lean against the house.
You're gonna buy me a cake tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. I'm going to buy you a cake on your birthday. And then what are we going to sing you?
Happy birthday.
Yes, we are. We're going to sing our beautiful boy happy birthday. He looks good as can be, that little guy. But we're going down on the 3rd of next month to get him checked around. One thing about him when it comes to the doctor, like when they did the blood work on him, he just was cool as could be. He didn't make any kind of big fuss. He didn't like it, but he didn't make any fuss. He's not a fussy one. When you tell him, hey, we're going to the doctor, you have to sit still or it's going to be, and he listens. He's really good with that. Now, we go for the CT scan just as long as he holds still, and I truly believe he will. I believe he'll hold still and be really good. And it's just something I think we got to rule this devastating news we got from him out. We have to get that ruled out quickly. And it's just a royal shame if they misdiagnosed him, that they put us through that. But Lord willing, that's what happened. I hope that that's exactly what happened. But he is my beautiful little boy, and I love these kids like you and believe, and I do believe that this is the best place for them. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go on this one. It's getting long again, and when I find some more stuff with the plumbing, I'll let you know. But so far, so good, guys. The rickshaw out. All right, guys. I got into the kitchen and I cleaned out just debris. It was like gook. I even found a little piece of rock in there. The sink has got quite a bit more pressure, not as much as the downstairs bathroom, but better. I think some of the problem with the hot water is the hoses that are coming through this Insta-Hot are like super tiny hoses. But I cleaned the gunk out of the screens. It just had gunk in it. Now I don't know which way these things are supposed to go, if these Insta-Hots, because they never left me the instructions with them or nothing. Maybe if it's not flowing right, but I got the upstairs bathroom. It's not like the best pressure in the whole world, but it's quite a bit more than what we had before, and it's enough to make the hot water work. So I'm going to be able to get a hot shower. It's like this big stupid rain head. I never liked those at all, but there's a hand one that Faye uses. It seems to be working good. It's plenty of pressure on that one, and then the bottom one, there's a screen thing there, It's to fill buckets with and stuff, but I can't get the screen out. I don't know how without scratching it all up. I believe there must be debris in there. Now the kitchen sink, the way those work, you either put the little thingy inside there for the sprayer type, or you pull that one out and you put the other one in for just the aerator type. I saw that on the instructions. Well, both of them were jammed in there, and up on the other side was debris. It was like dirt, little pieces of rock caught in the screen, and the screens weren't corroded. So I was able to get all that out, and I took that one filter thing out. Now it's not super pressure, and it is less on no matter where I go. That's a lot more pressure than we have, but when I go to the hot side, it goes down, and I think that's because these hoses are just a little bit too small. They go down, looks like they're just 1/4 inch, so I probably will go find some hoses that are a little bit bigger, and I think that's going to end the problem, because that's a pretty good restriction. And the upstairs faucet, it's just gunk, little pieces of white plastic, blue stuff, little hard pieces of blue stuff, just a mess of stuff, and pebbles, little teeny tiny gravelly pebbles like dirt. Now the place before he put the filter in, they didn't have any sinks or anything in at all. So before they really turned the water on, it went through my big filter, and I've got no restrictions coming through that at all, the way that was hooked up. So I think it's not the kind of pressure that I would like to see, but it's a heck of a lot better than when we started. And I'm going to go upstairs because I'm a little sweaty. I got to run to the bank, and I think I'm going to get myself a shower, and hopefully everything will be fine. So it's a shame that they wouldn't have done this already, and would have ended a lot of headaches right off the bat. And that took care of that. So this is Rickshaw. Don't forget to pray for each other. There's old Tatai. He brings us some vegetables and stuff. And he comes around and sweeps up and takes care of us. He says he'll take our garbage out to the end for us. And I think what we'll do is we'll just get him a regular monthly thing. We pay him. He lives just, in that little shack thing over there. That's where he lives. And so I think we're probably gonna give him stuff to eat. He seems like such a nice fella. I told Faye always, she gives him something to eat and stuff. And some people just have a pretty hard life compared to what we have. And for us to ever look down on somebody like that, that's just not Christian, guys. This little guy right here, he can come over any damn time he wants to eat. We'll give him some coffee, and we'll give him a few bucks so that he can, if he wants to haul our garbage for us and clean up around, that's fine. That's going to be fine with me. He's always smiling and happy every time I see him. English isn't there, my Tagalog isn't there, so but my wife and her mom are yakking with him, and she's, my wife, when it comes to that, is very generous and sweet to people, and that's one of the reasons I married her. She's just a sweetheart, and that's that's what I want to see. I don't like people who are selfish and greedy. I never did. Everything is given to us freely, guys. God gives us the air to breathe, the water to drink, the land to walk on. Rain to water the flowers, brain in our heads so that we can do things. I had one friend years ago. His kid was real sick, and they were not, Lord, they're going to do the healings and all this, and yeah, I believe in that too. But something, I also believe that the good Lord gave us a brain so that we could learn how to do stuff. I remember seeing way back in Egyptian times where they had cut holes in people's skulls and did brain surgeries back then. Not new under the sun, guys. And it had already been healing, where they put it back in and was healing. So God gives people the smarts to learn how to do stuff, how to use certain herbs to heal things. And finally, between my first wife and I, we talked them into getting their little one in. And years later, he was very thankful because she made it. And so I do believe in the power of prayer. That's the most powerful. But also, use your heads, use your common sense, guys, and just look at what we got today. Look at this beautiful day. Just a beautiful, not too much of a breeze. That sun is. I'm telling you what, you can feel the heat today. You can really feel the heat, and even the breeze is a little bit warm now. You know, but I am getting the breeze right now, so that's pretty cool. But so far so good. I'll get back with you and let you know how the shower turned out. But it just seems to me that somebody would have turned the water on and seen how much was coming through pressure, and it seems to me they should have said, okay, this ain't right, and started pulling things apart like what I had to do. And hopefully this will be the last time. Tabo Tom is signing out. God bless y'all.